It's day 9 of talking about Anne of Cleves, day 9 of 10, and I've shot myself in the foot a little bit here because there was way too much to fit in this one episode. I really did think there wasn't as much known about her in those final years as we do know. It does seem a little bit like people lose interest in her once she was no longer queen, and there's actually quite a lot there, so I'm going to just throw a few little bits and pieces at you. I've been reading Elizabeth Norton's Anne of Cleves, so I really recommend this. It's not very big. If you do want to know a bit more about her, and obviously also Antonia Fraser's wonderful book on the Six Wives. Anyway, right, so we left her yesterday as the king's most beloved sister. The thing I want to talk about first is, why didn't she just go home? So when Catherine Howard died in 1542, Anne actually thought she might be reinstated as queen. She actually thought Henry might want her back, and she wasn't the only one who thought this. You know, she could understand, everyone could understand the infatuation with Catherine Howard. She was very young, very beautiful. But even Chapuis was saying, you know, he can't understand why he wouldn't want Anne back, because who's he after? He's after Catherine Parr. Now, Catherine Parr is obviously very intelligent, etc., but she's been married twice before and she hasn't had any children. So if he was trying to pursue a family, if he was trying to still get some extra heirs out there, it kind of makes no sense to choose Catherine Parr, because there's no evidence that she can have children. And other people are saying that Anne was more beautiful. So it comes as a real shock to her when in 1543 he marries Catherine Parr. So these last few sort of months, she's been hoping she'll be reinstated. 1543 comes around. She doesn't obviously get married again to the king, get reinstated as queen. She would very much at this point like to go home. But then in 1543, everything kind of falls apart. In the August of 1543, her hometown is attacked and essentially handed over to the Holy Roman Emperor. So Cleves is lost, and her mother dies supposedly of grief over this. So that must have been an absolutely devastating blow for Anne. She's lost her mother. Her hometown, as she remembers it, no longer exists. It's been largely destroyed, and William is at the mercy, really, of the Holy Roman Emperor. So she doesn't have a mother to go home to. She doesn't even have a home to go home to. And what we need to remember is that's a big payout that she would get. So it was originally said in her marriage agreement that she would get 20,000 a year if she stayed in England. This is gold florins, 15,000 if she went home. But that was a widow's pension. That was if she stayed married to Henry and he died. That's not what's happened. She's not a dowager queen. She's a divorcee, or technically was never even married to him. So the money she's getting from Henry, that 4,000 a year, that's just a payout for kind of being amicable and staying close to home. So if she goes home now, she's going to have no money either. No home, no mother, and no money. So she really does have to stay where she is. By 1546, she does kind of rekindle her relationship with Catherine Parr. They're getting on fairly well. She's still welcome at court. But then obviously when Henry dies in 1547, she's no longer the king's beloved sister. She's just the king's sort of aunt. And Edward's council really aren't bothered about her. She's just an expensive kind of annoyance, really. They haven't, promised to take care of her how Henry had done. So she has a bit of a rough time under Edward. So we see things change for her a little bit here. She's not as welcome at court. Supposedly her household make huge demands. They demand a lot of money when they move to place. Apparently they don't leave things in a very good state. She hasn't taken particularly good care of the houses that she owns. They take one of them back. They let her keep Richmond. She has to really fight to increase her money a little bit because inflation has really gone up, and she can't really afford the household that she's got. She does manage to argue for an increase in her money, at least until Edward is 18. Obviously that's not going to happen, we know that. So she does fight for that. So she does still get some money, but she does lose one of the houses. Initially, under Mary, things seemed a little bit better. She got on very well with Mary. She was present at the sort of pre-coronation pageant. She even rode with the Princess Elizabeth, so, you know, in sort of matching gowns. So she still had some status. She was welcome at court. She would discuss Mary's possible marriage negotiations with her. However, then we have Wyatt's rebellion, and for some reason, her name gets thrown into that. And things go cold then with Mary, even though she doesn't appear to have had anything to do with it. Sort of chucking her name into it like that spoils things, I think, for Mary, and she's kind of no longer welcome at court. In 1555, she tries to have the status of her marriage to Henry re-legitimised in the hope that she can get some sort of widow's pension, you know, live as a dowager queen. But the council just sort of never get around to that. Really never get around to hearing her case, and so in her final years she does find it hard financially to manage. So tomorrow we're going to think about her final days, think about her death, and think about her legacy. So I will see you then.